Hey everyone, Connie here with quite a major important update video for you all. This is going to, I guess you could say, change the channel a bit. Um, a lot of these updates are very minimal, but you can already see from the title how big this one's going to be. Um, we need to make some changes around here because it's become more and more abundantly clear to me that, as I've done in the past, I'm trying to take on too much. And you guys have warned me about this. You guys have told me to not try to worry about taking on everything. You guys have even told me in the past it's like if you can watch stuff on your own, you don't have to react to everything. And and honestly, yeah. The problem is you're right. And I have been taking on too much once again. And it's not exactly with the current schedule. Excuse me. Sorry. It's not exactly with the current schedule. The current schedule is honestly fine. Um, it's more along with everything in the waiting. Because I was looking at everything I have currently in the waiting, everything that I have been planning to get to, and everything, and it's a lot. Like whether from just having done too many first impressions reactions and now having too many videos in the waiting there, um, or just wanting again to get to pretty much everything and anything. Now, keep in mind, nothing here will be changing in regards to donation rewards or the current schedule. The current schedule with what we have on the board right now, and even stuff that's directly coming up like very soon, that stuff's probably not going to change. But there are going to be some changes we are going to be making in just what we have basically set up for the future. And some of them you won't even know because some of them were just stuff I was planning on getting to in the future, and I'm deciding maybe at least for now I'm going to cut those out of the plans. Just to cut back on what I have going to not like force it and everything. Um, so those are ones you won't even know about, but there are some that you do know about that we are unfortunately cutting back on. And one of them is at least one of them is pretty big. And I'm going to get to that one right off the bat. So we are not going to be reacting to Bleach: The Thousand Year Blood War. I know I had made a video when the trailer was shown and everything, and made a big announcement out of the fact that we were getting to it. But I've come to realize that a lot of that was just hype. I was hyped over the return of Bleach. I was hyped over the trailer. And I've come to realize more lately that I don't really want to react to it for a number of reasons. Bleach, I don't think is going to be something that is super reaction worthy. Um, it's not like it's not like a lot of these other shows we react to, like Amphibia or Owl House or even One Piece, where it's just like, yeah, there's going to be cool stuff going on, but I don't feel like it's going to be exceptionally great for reactions. Um, and we already know it's going to be, I think, 4 cours long is what they're planning. So it's going to be a pretty long series. Um, because it's the final arc and it's a long arc too. And on top of that, I am determined to watch the dub for it because I don't like the Japanese voices of the characters, at least in the original anime, and honestly, they'll probably get the same VAs. So I don't like the voices for characters, especially main characters like Ichigo and who knows when the dub's even going to come out at this point. I think that Bleach is something that I would better watch on my own time. And so that's going to be something that's going to be cut back, and I'll probably do a first impressions review of it once I do, again, get to the dub. But I'm probably not going. In fact, I'm pretty much telling you right now, I'm not reacting to it. And there's going to be some other shows, again, especially some that are on the impressions continuation list, that are not going to be continued. And it's not because I don't like them, but it's because out of all the ones on there, I've not been really pushing myself to get back to them at all. I've not been super invested in returning to them. And I'm going to say from this point forward, any first impressions reactions I do are going to have to like really impress me to be put on the list. I'm going to be a little more strict with that. And I'm going to try not to do them as often. But there are 3 specific things that I am taking off of the Impressions continuations list. 3 specific shows. And I'll explain why for each of them. First, Requiem of the Rose King. Because while I liked the first episode, out of all of the ones that are currently on my list for Impressions continuations, I liked it the least. And to be honest, while the first episode was interesting and had some very interesting, very unique ways of looking at things, I don't think it would be actually that great for a reaction. Even if the series ends up being good, which hopefully, if I make the time for myself, I'll check it out on my own time at some point. But I'm just not invested in getting to it right now, if I'm being honest. It's not my priority, I guess you could say. And my interest in it has waned as I've waited. And that's a big thing to note. Because as I've been waiting for it to come, the fact that my interest has waned as much as it has is telling me that it was just my initial reaction to the episode that was making me want to see more. Another one is My Dress Up Darling. I know this is a really popular series, and the first episode was enjoyable enough, but there have been a lot of misgivings I've had towards the series since. And on top of, again, just it being another case of one that has faded in my interest since I first reacted to the first episode. There's a couple things about the series that I'm very wary of now. That I feel like I'll check out on my own time, and that I can be okay with doing that with, but I don't want to react to it. One of the big things is I know the series sexualizes Marin, and that bothers me because Marin is an underage character. I don't think it's as egregious as how Kill la Kill does it, but still. And the third series is Shadow's House. Shadow's House is something that I was definitely basically interested in due to the mystery and the fascinating concept of it. But again, like the others, since I originally reacted to it, my interest in continuing to specifically react to the series has gone down. And honestly, I don't feel like I'm going to get that same level of excitement and investment that I had with the first episode. Even if the rest of it ends up being good, I don't feel like it's going to hit that mark for me the same way again due to the wait. There are other shows that are still on the list that I feel will, such as Panty and Stocking or Jormungand or Show by Rock. or so on and so forth. Those shows I feel will hit that same kind of mark for me. But stuff like this and even My Dress Up Darling and Requiem of the Rose King, I don't think are going to. I just I think a lot of my excitement over them was the initial hype, which is a little disappointing, yeah. But there's not really anything I can do. So I'm gonna strike those from the list and hopefully get back to them on my own time at some point in the future. And like I said, there's a number of shows that you don't even know that I was in the planning with. A lot of shows that I was getting like prepared for the future, and am now going to hold off on. And the thing is, I might come back to them at some point in the future. They might end up getting requested as a donation reward. I might end up doing a first impressions to them. Or maybe sometime down the line, maybe I'll just get back to them. But I'm cutting a bunch of those off for the time being, just to save on, um, just to save on things for the future, and to cut down our current stuff for the future on my list. Um, but like I said, things that are coming up like directly soonish, are not going to be affected by this. Stuff like Chainsaw Man, for example, you guys already knew I was planning on checking that out. That's still going to that's still going to happen for sure. I've already got the slot picked out. Obviously, stuff that's continuing like Spy Family, Dead End. In November, Dragon Prince is coming back. That stuff is obviously still going strong. Um, but while all of that's going to still happen, while things are going to still be continuing in that regard for the time being, there are a couple things that we will have to. Well, one thing at this point, I think, that we will have to also say we're going to drop from the schedule. And it's not because I don't like the series. In fact, it is a series I do enjoy. But it's one of those shows that is so hard for me to get to, and I put it on hold, and now I've been like procrastinating on when I was going to bring it back and everything. Um, and I've just kept doing so over and over. Um, that it's at that point where I'm just realizing it's not that I don't like the series, it's that I don't want to react to it. Because it's heavy in a certain way to where it's actually pushing me away from wanting to react to it and everything. Because as I've stated in the past, doing reactions is different from watching something on your own time. You have to put forth a different kind of effort, a different kind of way of watching something. The way you put your attention on the series compared to how you have to act in front of the camera in a way is very different than if you're just sitting on your own, just vibing and watching a show. And it gives a different experience for some shows. Some shows are very different watching on my own than if I were to react to them. And some shows I've known that just because I've done both, such as My Little Pony. I've watched that on my own, but there was also a lot of it I reacted to. Pretty much half and half with Friendship is Magic. Because the first 4 seasons I reacted to on my own, or I watched on my own, but seasons 5 to 9 I, reacted to. But either way, the series I'm talking about is Watchmen. I've been putting off Watchmen, and I've been putting off bringing it back since I put it on hold. And yeah, like I said, it's a good series, but it's very heavy in a way that makes it very hard for me to want to react to it. It saps my energy so much faster than anything else I think I've reacted to, period. um and I don't like the way it saps my energy. Again, I don't dislike the series. I actually very much like the series. But it's not something I feel like I can put forth the energy and the time into reacting to anymore. It's something that I feel I need to make the decision to cut back on. So that's going to be stricken from the list. As unfortunate as it is, and we will be like moving on to something else in terms of impressions continuations once Jujutsu Kaisen is done. But like I said, pretty much everything else on the list currently is going to stay on the list. Although I am going to say that there are a couple shows that I am a little worried about. I'm still giving them a chance. They're not, I'm not even saying they're at risk of being dropped or anything right now. I'm still giving them a chance, but I'm worried about them. For now, they're still on the list. For now, they're still on the schedule. And if you've been watching the reactions, you know what those two are. So I'll just say it here. Devil's a Part-Timer Season 2 and Harley Quinn Season 3. Those two have been concerning me a bit lately, especially since, I'm ahead with pre-recordings. But again, we're going to continue them for now. If I feel like I just can't do them anymore, I will drop them. Harley Quinn, I don't think that's going to happen for. But Devil's a Part-Timer, that's more of a maybe. Hopefully it doesn't, though. Hopefully it's all good. But I am going to tell you right now that, and I've talked about this, I think, in a couple other reactions here and there. We will be bringing in other slots to have double reactions in, just like we did when we had when we were doing Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan and all, and we had multiple days with 2 shows per slot. We're going to be doing that again because there's stuff coming up that I don't want to wait on, and I can't guarantee a slot will open up soon enough, basically. The big example right now is Spy Family, which comes out on October 1st. And yeah, I've looked at it, and there's really nothing I can do to figure that out to get something available for then, obviously. So that's probably going to have to join another slot. But there's also My Little Pony Make Your Mark, which just came out today. So I'm kind of maybe at a loss because do I have the time to do 3 days with an extra? I might have to hold off on Spy Family a little bit until at least I finish something like, I don't know, Infinity Train, because that's probably going to be the first one that finishes that I'll be able to open a slot for. So maybe I'll wait to bring in Spy Family until then, but maybe I'll start, like, when I have time, maybe I'll start recording an episode here and there, just not as much as other stuff, and while still focusing on the other stuff, of course. But yeah, I'll figure it out, obviously. But yeah, there's definitely going to be at least one more day that's going to have 2 slots because, again, My Little Pony Make Your Mark, I don't want to wait on that. In fact, I almost can't because I have a meetup coming up where we're going to be watching the first episode, and I need to at least see that beforehand. So yeah. But yeah, these changes aren't going to affect most things on the channel. We're still going to have our impressions continuation slot. We're still going to have the donation reward slot. We're still going to have poll series. None of that's changing. Current as of current, none of the stuff we're currently reacting to is going to be changing. It's mainly just stuff coming up. So there's just been some changes there, and again, some of them you're not even going to know about. Some of them are things that you're just not even going to know about because they're things that I had not been planning to say anything about. So, yeah. Um, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Any adjustments to be made from here on out will. It's just this entire thing with everything that had been coming up had admittedly been just weighing on me, I guess you could say. There's just been so much that I've been planning for the future, and I need to take a step back and chill the fuck out and not put so much on my plate. Um, and I've said before, if we end up ever getting to a point where we do need to cut back on the schedule, I'll figure that out then. But for now, again, our schedule is staying as is, and with October coming this weekend, um, we're gonna actually be going even kind of heavier into things just because of the Halloween special and all. So, yeah, expect even more chicanery to be coming from the channel this next month. I just wanted to make this update and everything to tell you just the kinds of things that are going to be changing in regards to how the channel's going and all. And yeah, it's just it's important stuff. It's not changing the current schedule or anything, but it's still important stuff. Um, and kind of the one last thing I want to bring up is something I had like briefly talked about, like, or not really talked about, but mentioned before. But I guess this is kind of like your first official big announcement for it. Um, the channel is going to be going through a rebrand. And this is going to be happening sooner than I honestly expected. It's going to be happening in November. I was going to wait initially till January, but I think that I just want to kind of get it done and out of the way. And rather than wait till the new year, we're going to get it done a little sooner. So it's going to happen in January or in November. And I'm at the moment deciding between whether it's going to happen right away at the start of November or if it's going to or if I'm going to wait until like the 25th, which is my transversary. So basically the beginning or the end of November. And I'm kind of leaning towards the beginning. And the rebrand is not going to change anything like in terms of the schedule and all on the channel either. All of that's still staying the same. It's just going to mostly be aesthetic. I'm going to be changing like the design of pretty much everything, the channel banner and the channel photo. I'm going to be changing the reaction screen and everything, the logo, all that kind of stuff. And there have been some different things I've been thinking about doing, and some of them I might not, some of them I will. Thumbnails will be changing, that's another thing. But I'm not sure exactly how far I'm going to take it yet. There's still going to be some thought and everything that I'm going to be doing over the next weeks as I prepare for this. The channel name is probably one of the big things that is going to change. The URL for the channel will not. The channel URL will not change. but the name of the channel will. The channel will no longer be Miss Connie. And there is a reason for that. Um, and I will talk more about it when I make like the actual changes come through, because I'm going to make a video at that point, basically introducing you to the new channel. But I will say there is a like legitimate reason why the channel was called Miss Connie for this long, and why I feel the need to change it now. This rebrand will be going to into effect like pretty much overnight. It's not going to be a gradual thing. It's going to be like I'm already going to be working on all the graphics. So once I'm ready, again, either the beginning or end of November, I'm just going to be changing them overnight. And again, this will not affect the schedule. This will not affect the reactions at all. Those will still go according to plan. But like overnight, you're also going to see the thumbnails change, for example. So it's going to be quite a bit of a noticeable difference. Also, another big change will be that the official airing schedule will now be starting Sundays instead of Mondays. As you could see on our channel banner, the reaction schedule, the airing schedule for all the reactions I put up has started with Monday, with Saturday and Sunday ending the week. But I'm actually going to be moving to like start on Sundays now. Even though I usually can't record most Sundays, it's still going to just be considered the start of the week, the beginning of the reaction week, nonetheless. Basically, it's just going to change the channel banner and everything. And so I'm thinking of working it to where it's like maybe we'll start like at the beginning of a week then. So we'll start on a Sunday, and that's when we'll do the rebrand and change everything over and all. So maybe like somewhere again around the beginning or end of the month that's in line with that. So that way it kind of it's kind of at the right time, I guess you could say. And the 1st of November is a Tuesday. So maybe we'll wait until the next week in that regard. So the 6th, Sunday the 6th. But this is a big deal. Again, I'll explain all the reasons why we're doing the rebrand once that video comes out. And again, that video will be out pretty much right when the rebrand happens. Or if I literally do it like at 1 a.m. or something, then the video will come out like the morning after. But yeah, so I just wanted to make this video. I know this was long. I apologize, but there's a lot to say and a lot to go through here. Again, mostly everything will still be continuing as normal. There's just a couple shows that, as I mentioned here, have been taken off the list. And if you were looking forward to those shows, I do apologize. I mean, you could still have me react to them. If you had them as a donation reward, you could force me to continue to check them out, basically, and I'd be fine with that. But I'm taking them off of the planned schedule for now to cut things back. To cut things back on my basically expectations for the future, so that I don't put too much on myself right now. Because honestly, right now, it's becoming a little much. A little too much for me to handle, and it's just... It's taking a toll on me. So we're cutting back on things there. But like I said, certain things coming up will be still coming up as they do. And... just as a note, because in case someone might ask about this, Chucky Season 2, which is coming out October 10th, we will not be getting to that right away. We are going to be holding off on that probably until a slot opens up. Because while I would like to get to it right away, that's one I also know I can avoid spoilers for a lot easier. Um, and something that I don't feel like I need to get to right as it aired. So I'm gonna hold. So Chucky season 2 will be held off on a little, but we will still be getting to it. It's still on the list. Um, but in case anyone brought that up, that is a thing that we will get to at some point, just not right now, or rather, not when it comes out initially. um, but yeah, I just wanted to let you all know what the plan was for that, and who knows how it's going to go in the future. As always, I'll keep you all updated if anything changes. Um, and again, look forward to the rebrand because it's something that, again, even though I'll go forward with the details later, I'm telling you now that it is going to be something that I feel is going to be very good for the channel and for me because there's again a reason why it's happening, and there's a reason why I feel it's time to change that. Again, nothing else with the channel will be changing. It's just an aesthetic thing, just a title thing. Um, Honestly, the Discord probably won't even change names. I don't feel like it'll probably need to. Um, but we'll see when we get to it how that goes down. In the meantime, yeah, tell me in the comments below, what do you think of these changes, these updates? Um, and if you have any ideas or stuff for the future on how things could maybe change a little more or whatnot, if you have any like suggestions or whatnot, feel free to leave them in the comments. If there's anything you want to say in regards to any of this, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm always willing to listen, always willing to hear you out, um, always willing to know what you think about all of this. But I hope you all understand there's plenty of stuff still coming in the future. That's not going to be changing. And again, current schedule is still exactly the same as it has been. So no worries there, right? That all being said, thank you so much for tuning in. And for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.